You're watching EVH Gear TV, brought to you by Mike's Music. Visit Mike's Music online for all your EVH and other gear needs. Microphones for EVH Gear TV are provided by Rode Microphones, and official Van Halen merchandise is provided by VanHalenStore.com. Now, here's your host from Ontario, Canada, EVH Gear artist Eric Broadbent.
Hey everyone, happy Sunday to you all. This is a fantastic day. I'm joined by my favorite person in the entire world, my little buddy, Eric Jr. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. How's it going, everyone?
I think we're doing good. You're looking good. You're looking happy. You're kind of glowing a little bit.
Yes, for sure. Mom's
jumping in the chat. Poison Ivy Girls here. First one to the punch.
She will definitely get a surprise after this because she's the first one in here.
That's right.
It's a nice warm hug.
What was I going to say? Yeah, we're going to kind of talk about our story, share our story yesterday and everything, but it's nice to have you on the show. You know, we don't get to have you on the show as often as I'd like, so we'll do it. We'll have some fun with it. We'll share some fun. Charlie S. is jumping in, says, hey, Eric ×2, and Darren Moore Rock and Roll says, hey, everyone, so cool that you guys had this experience. Yeah, we'll jump into the experience in just a moment. It's one of those things where you and I haven't had the chance to really comprehend it yet, have we?
No, it's one of my first times actually, like, you know, fully on meeting someone and like talking, you know. So it's really cool. Definitely an amazing experience for an 11-year-old.
It is, for sure. And as we get into it, we'll explain how the nerves and the emotional roller coaster, as I like to describe it, from going, you know, up and down and anywhere in between. It was kind of like a roller coaster, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
I'll just say hi to a few other people that are jumping in the chat as well too, and then we'll jump into it a little bit more too. Richard Hendry's jumping in, saying, hey guys, greetings from Northern Ireland. Very, very nice. Justin Garrity says, hey guys. Sam VH5150 saying, hey fellas. Craig Reynolds, hey guys. The Law, Jamie's jumping in saying, hey folks. And you got to check out, I just want to say something real quick. That show I did with Jamie the other night, Jamie Trevino, it's gone crazy on the channel. It's like a 1,500 views so far. You know, when a lot of the shows just, you know, average 400 or 500 views. Some of them go crazy, but over 1,000 views on that one. So very, very cool. He was demonstrating the Helix, as you saw, and stuff like that. And Hero Zero says, always cool show. Thank you very much. So we really don't have anything kind of scripted or organized, and we're probably both going to be rambling a little bit because it was a bit of a roller coaster. So I'm going to set this up a little bit, Eric, and I'll turn it over to you, and you kind of give your perspective on it. So George and I have been talking about doing this for quite some time, about meeting up, and also have about him being a guest on the show, which I'm greatly looking forward to. We'll talk about that in a little bit as well too. But it just worked out. This is one of those things where ducks were in a row. George was playing in Windsor, at Caesars Windsor at the Coliseum, and which is not that far from us, you know. So I won't say exactly geographically where that is, but it's close enough that it was doable for us. Very doable, right? So yesterday it was happening. We weren't sure if it was happening for sure leading up to the event, and we didn't even really know, I guess maybe 100% until probably the Friday. Is that right, buddy? Probably Friday. I think we knew it was actually happening, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Saturday during the day, we didn't really have any kind of itinerary planned. We just, okay, I think it's probably best that we just get down there early. You know, one of those things, it's like hurry up and wait as opposed to hurry up and hopefully you can get there. So we left probably around 2 o'clock, would you say, yesterday afternoon?
Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, around there.
Yeah, so we got there. It took us better part of an hour and a half by the time we got there. We get into, Hunter's jumping in. Hunter,
hey!
Awesome. Very cool. Eric's brother.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Oh, I lost you there, Eric. Are you okay? I lost your connection there for a second. Hopefully I get you back. It's pretty bad when we have a bad Skype connection in our own house. Do we have you back there, Eric? Uh-oh, we lost Eric. Okay, hopefully we can get him back. I might switch over to my camera and we'll see if we can get him back. Actually, it's really cool. Randall Fisher says, yeah, sucks Eric Jr. didn't get in, but it's cool that you still got to meet. Yeah, I didn't even go to the show either, and we'll get into that. So we lost Eric. Give me a second. I'm going to put it on my screen for a second, and I'll see what's happening here. All right. I'm going to see what happened. I'm going to call him back. I'm going to say, what happened, buddy? We'll get him back. You know, I guess in hindsight, I could have just said, why don't you come in the studio, and I could have had him right here as well, too. Okay. Let's see if we get him back. I'll try calling him back right now. He locked up. And I told him, I said, reboot your computer before we go live. It's always a good thing to do. And he doesn't like to reboot his computer. And I don't do it either. Actually, I did this time. I rebooted before I went live. Okay, we lost him. All right, so you know what? We might even get him in here in the studio in person. All right. All right, we lost him completely. All right, so let's hope he comes down here. Let's go over the chat just for a quick second as well too. So we've got Hunter McNeil jumping in. Hey Hunter, good to see you. David Ennison. Hey Eric and Eric Jr. and Poison Ivy. Poison Ivy says, hey son. So she has 2 of her sons in the chat today, which is great. We're actually on the show and in the chat. Justin Grady says, were you able to play any new were we able to pry any VH info out of him? He's good friends with Eddie, correct? And yes, very good friends with Eddie. We weren't able to pry any info out of him other than he shared some stories with us. There's some that we can't allow, convey because they're personal between Eddie and George. So we weren't able to. I can't share those without his permission. All right, so I think I hear Eric coming down the stairs. What happened? Did we lose your connection?
My connection's going AWOL. I deeply apologize for that.
Okay, let's get you a mic. So bear with us for a quick second. I'm going to put it on our B-Rag back screen. Don't go anywhere, guys. I'm going to get Eric a microphone, and we'll get him set up here, okay? Just give us 2 moments. 1 sec. All right, we are back, but I seem to have lost audio here. Just 1 second. So, yeah, we got a bit of a technical disaster. Let's try to figure this out. 1 second. Thanks, guys, for your patience. I don't know what's happening. Can everyone hear us? Okay, just give us a bit of an audio check. Can everyone, actually, you know what? Let's close this for a second.
Hello, can everyone hear us? We greatly apologize for this. My connection was going AWOL, so.
Just give us a quick heads up. Can everyone hear us in the chat? Is that okay? I can't hear myself anymore.
I don't even know if you guys can hear me, so.
Give me a quick check on you.
Check 1, check 1, 2. Can you hear me?
Can you hear Eric Jr. as well too? Let's go back over the chat as well too. So Hunter McNeil says, hey. Draw with Big Tour says yellow. Poison Ivy says he's coming. Surfcat Max says Matt says hello out there. Poison Ivy says, I hope everyone is having a great weekend so far. Draw with Big Tour says hello Surfcat. Surfcat Matt says what's up. And you know what I'm gonna do? Hang on, let's do this for a second. I know exactly why this is possibly giving me an error.
Says we can hear.
Okay, good.
The only thing is, I don't know if they can only hear Dad. So.
No, I think they're probably saying both. Let's go back to here as well too. So check
Junior, Mom says Junior's low.
Okay, let's try to bring him up.
Okay. Bit,
as well too. All right, and let's do this
hello,
once.
hello?
Hang on
hello?
1 second, guys.
Hello.
All right, so let's just see why we can't hear ourselves. This is very rare.
We greatly apologize for this. This has never happened before. So.
Oh, it's happened, but just not on a regular basis.
My connection upstairs is pretty bad, so.
You know what? Might help if I plug in my headphones, right?
Pardon?
See this?
Boom.
Wow. All right. It's one of those things when things fail, I'm one of the first people to go, uh-oh, run and hide. I can hear myself. I just had to plug in my headphones. Yeah, so Whip Jr., sorry, we're not going to allow comments like that on the chat. Sorry about that. Let me see here. Yeah, ouch, exactly, Surfcat. You know, I want to explain something here. I'm not going to address comments. I just want to say, you know, all of us in life, we have religious views. We don't have religious views. We have political views. We don't have political views. And I never mix religion, politics, anything like that on the show. I may have guests on the show that some people may not subscribe to their beliefs and comments. And I'm sure those guests that have come on the show don't always agree with my comments and my beliefs and things like that, but I never mix them. I don't care what people believe in as long as it's not hateful and things like that. But I'm never going to mix it. And some people have offense to some of the guests I've had on my show or are coming on my show because of their beliefs. Let's just check our baggage at the door, right? And have some fun. All right. So there's some things that were said there that we won't even get into. Let's continue on. Let's keep it positive. Frank Manale says, "Hey guys, great week." I for sure. We're just kind of in
Shock.
In shock is right. So Richard Henry says, "Yeah, better." I think that's probably with your audio, so that's good. Let me see. We can probably put a little tiny bit of. Oh, we're good on bass on you. Let's keep the volume where it is. I think we're good. The Law is saying, "Laugh out loud." Randall Fisher says, "Miss Sanders doing great. Hope you're feeling better and doing good." Yes, there you go. Thank you, Poison Ivy. You got it. You got
Respect the law.
Respect the law. She's on the ball. She is. Surf Cat Matt says, "Right on, Eric." And Yasnader says, "Is Wolfgang Standard import legit?" Yes, it's legit. It's the real deal. It meets the specifications of all the other products as well too. And there you go, Surf Cat Matt. You got it. All right. So let's go back to where we were before the train wreck here. We went to Windsor probably around the, okay, I'm going to highlight that. It's Victor's question. We'll get to that in a second. He's got a question for you. Went to Windsor around the 2 o'clock mark, got into Windsor around the 3:30-ish mark, and as we're pulling into Windsor down one of the main corridors of Windsor, get a phone call from Doug, who's George's tour manager, a very, very nice fellow. I thought he was Canadian at first, not just because of his accent. He sounded, you know, just didn't have the typical accent that I would expect. And I know I have an accent, but he just sounded Canadian. He wasn't Canadian, but very, very positive fellow. And he says, "Hey, George's tour manager, I guess you're going to be meeting up with George today." And we're like, "Yeah." So, you know, we're both excited. We're listening to Gorillas at the time on the radio, and we stopped to take the phone call. And hands-free, of course. You don't have to worry about me driving unsafely with the boy. It's hands-free through the car. And so we had a brief conversation, 5 minutes, whatever, and said, "Okay, well, we'll be down at the casino area within about 15 minutes." We got down there and parked. He says, "You can park wherever you want." And then arranging for tickets to get us. So we had our tickets. He goes, "How many tickets do you need?" So just the two of us, whatever. And my stupidity, of course, you know, and naivety, it was not an all ages show. And even though George Lopez's comedy can be off the cuff, he's heard his share of foul language sometimes. He's taught me a couple of words as well too.
He said that over the phone as well.
I know. I did tell him that. I said, "Well, Eric's heard a few curse words," so we weren't worried about that. So then we get there, and as we're getting in the parking garage, we're coming down. We talk to a service worker somewhere along the lines, and the lady says, "Oh, he can't go in there. The box office is up here. You can't go there to get the tickets because he won't be allowed in." And we're
like, the box office is in the casino.
Yeah. So we're like, "Uh-oh." So that was red flag number one. And then we're like, "Okay, well, this isn't happening." And so then we're like, "Okay, what are we going to do?" So I text Doug. I actually asked Doug on the phone. I said, "Can I text you back at this number? Is that cool?" He goes, "Yeah, that's why I'm calling you. So we have a nice kind of continuity throughout the day. So you can text me, I can text you. We'll make all this happen." And now we're getting closer to around the 4:30ish mark, whatever. And he says, "Okay," so he goes, "I talked to the security people, whatever, and unfortunately, we're just not going to be able to get Junior in there because they can't make exceptions. It's one of those things where it's a no, what's the word I'm looking, no tolerance basically for minors, right? So
no minors saying all ages above 19 are allowed." That's
right. So even though he acts like a 19-year-old, the government ID that he's associated with, that he has assigned to him, does not say he's 19, so he couldn't get in.
I don't act like a 19-year-old.
Oh, you do sometimes.
I act like a 45-year-old.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. And the good thing is you're not graying yet, which is a good thing. we won't even go on that topic. So long story short, we're not going to see the show, and that's totally fine. I can live with that. I really wanted to see the show, but I told Junior, I said, this is an all or nothing kind of thing. Either it's going to happen for the both of us, or it's not going to happen. I could have actually, I could have driven back home to Mom and went back and enjoyed the show myself. I wasn't about to do that. I had time to do it. It was all or nothing. So that being said, it was a very emotional roller coaster day. This was happening, and I think I had him post on Facebook. I gave him my phone, said post on Facebook on my account, say this is actually happening. So our emotions were up here, right?
Yeah.
And then our emotions went down because it was like, okay, we're not going to go see the show, which is looking like we're not going to meet George. So the emotions went down. I'm still being realistic about this. It's like, you know what? We're here. You were describe your feelings at this point, kind of like going there and then where you were at that point.
So I went downhill because at this point I was thinking, oh no, we're not gonna meet George. You know, we're not gonna get our tickets. We're not gonna go see him. And we were waiting outside for a while. And now what we did, we just we went to start take photos out by near Michigan.
The river. You want me to show the gallery while you tell about it?
Yeah.
Describe that, and I'll pop over to a gallery while he's talking. This is kind of encapsulating our event.
So yeah, those are all the photos of us meeting George. And there's Michigan.
Beautiful.
Yep, there. So we had a blast taking all the photos. The only problem that kind of got me pretty upset was the glasses I wear a lot are actually broken because they dropped as I was trying to tie my shoes. But after that, I barely cared. So
at this point here in these photos too, he's smiling. He looks like he's happy, but I don't think you were too happy.
I wasn't too happy because I didn't think we were gonna meet George. At that time, that's before we knew we weren't allowed. So I wasn't too happy in the photos, but I still had a good time getting the photos taken. There's a couple nice people. They were generous enough to take a couple photos for us.
Yeah, we passed them our camera and we took some pictures of them too. I think they're like a honeymooning couple or something like that.
Yeah, there's the concert. That's where Dad performed.
Yeah, that's where I retired basically on that stage.
And that's why I wanted to take the photo really bad.
I know,
and
yeah.
I actually thought it looked really good, so that's why I wanted to do it. And so we were waiting for a while, right? And then what we did was we were on the stairs of the Coliseum.
We sat there.
Yeah, and we sat there with a guitar, an envelope, and a backpack.
Well, let's pause there just for one sec. So we had time to kill. So we thought, I said, Eric, let's think of it this way. And I'm trying the whole time I'm trying to be a good dad. I'm trying to say, look, let's hope for the best. Let's plan for the worst, as anybody would do. And I said, if this all fails, I know this is going to be disappointing to you, but to me, in my opinion, I had a really, really good day. I spent the day with the boy. These pictures I love. I got a couple pictures there that I just loved of the boy. And to me, it was a real bonding moment. Now, I know it's more important to him. I can bond with him any day of the week, but he doesn't get to hang with George Lopez every day of the week. And I know he's going to be disappointed. So we're like, okay. But I'm just trying to put the positive spin on it, try to put positive on everything. So as he says, we go sit at the casino. Doug had said to us if the thing is still going to happen with George, it's going to be it's probably going to be after 7. So explain what was in that envelope and go back to where we left off at the casino steps there.
In the envelope was a drawing of George Lopez.
That you did.
Yep. And so what we did was we were outside and we were waiting for not that long as I don't remember.
About an hour and a half technically, but it
Around
went
there.
by pretty quick.
It went by pretty quick. We were just sitting out there waiting. It was nice out. It was very beautiful.
Nice evening. It was,
yeah.
You know, it was like probably 60 degrees, 65 degrees, maybe somewhere in that 60 degrees.
And so what happened was we messaged the tour manager one last time. And
on Eric's suggestion, because I didn't want to bug him. I really didn't, but it's like, okay.
I didn't want to bug him either, but so there was a hotel area and there was the Coliseum where
Side
we
by
were.
side.
Yep. So I was and Dad said, go take a peek and see what's there. I'm like, okay. So I go over there. I couldn't see much because there's cars blocking it, right? So I came back.
Valet parking and stuff like that.
So what happened was I told Dad to message Doug, where should we wait? And he messaged back by saying, there's someone there to come and pick you up. And we're like, come pick us up. And then we just hear someone say, Eric, and we turn around, and there he is, right?
Oh, so we kind of let the Doug know what we would look like, so, you know, could expect it. So I said, I'm wearing a Road Varsity jacket. The boy's wearing a Van Halen hoodie. So that gave that picture painted, and then that guy was like an older gentleman, had like the security, earpiece and whatever,
Bluetooth, little thing. Yeah.
Very, very nice to us. We walk over. I said, "Oh, were you sent here by Doug, whatever?" And yep, and we're here to take you up to meet Mr. Lopez. And we're like, "Okay."
Yep.
So explain your mood at that point.
It went up. It obviously went up. I was all the way down here, but then when I heard someone say Eric,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
but we got led to the store. We got these passes.
Yep, checked in at security, and everyone, right? I tell people, because it's easier for me to say this. I want to hear your take on it. Tell people, so you've met this nice security gentleman. We go in, and there is a police officer, security guard there, a couple ladies that were security and things like that. Explain how they all treated you and I from that walkthrough.
Nice, definitely nice. They didn't say anything bad or anything, nothing negative. All positive. They treated us very nice.
Remember the names? Did they say what are the names of the passes? And we told them what our names were.
We both said Eric, and then they're like last name we both just said Broadbent. So because we both share the same name, obviously that's why I'm called Junior.
Yeah.
But so we go up the elevator. In the hotel room where all the people stay, there's just this giant wall of all signatures from many different people who were in Caesars Windsor.
Probably a couple hundred, right?
Probably a couple hundred. You can name someone and from a TV show, and they'll be on that wall.
Who was the one that you told me? I was like, really? That was there? Tell me the one you saw.
I don't remember. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, remember Dog?
Oh yeah, the Bounty Hunter. Yeah.
Dog the Bounty Hunter was a show I used to watch all the time. I was like, really? There were so many famous people on this wall signed that it just became a blur to me. I didn't see anyone because it was just all the way down, but he saw Dog the Bounty Hunter, and that was cool to me because I used to love watching that show. Poison Ivy and I used to watch it all the time. Kind of neat.
Yeah, and then we saw this one room, and it had on the wall, it said George Lopez, and I'm like, that's where he is. He's right there. He's right there. So I go, we get led to his room, and there he is, just sitting on the couch.
Just kind of chilling.
Yeah, he's just chilling there. And then he tells us to come in, right? And at this point, I'm shaking because I'm like, that's George Lopez. He's like right there, right?
But you really had your composure. I was telling Mom about this. I'm telling you, the kid, when I say he's like 19, it was great. He just held it together. Hey, and then you sat right down beside George. I sat on a chair and kind of took off my jacket and kind of made myself at home. Everyone made us feel comfortable. Yeah,
and then I said, hey, George, I had something for you. I'm pretty sure you'd like it. And
at that point, you were referring to him as Mr. Lopez, which I was really appreciated, and I think George did too.
So yeah, I handed it to him, and he opened it. So and he actually really liked it. It was the like I said, it was the drawing
caricature.
He actually really liked it. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Remember, he said somebody get me a marker right away. He wanted to write down the date so he knew when he was given this gift.
And we asked him a few questions, because he's gonna have George on his show pretty soon. Mm-hmm. So he just had to ask a few questions, right?
Yeah.
And some of them were kind of humorous questions, so we'll get to that sometime soon.
Yeah. Well, let's throw out one right now. You go ahead and say it. What was the one question, and it had to do with Eddie Van Halen? You tell that story.
Was it the who's the better golfer? So what happened was just before we left George's hotel room. Dad said, "Well, okay, one last question: who's the better golfer?" And I believe it was Doug and George. They both just said, "Oh yeah, it's George."
And what did I say?
And he's like, "So if I were to ask Eddie, what would he say?" And he said, "Oh yeah, obviously George."
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool, but it was pretty cool because I got to get a photo with George, and he wanted to take a photo with his phone. Oh,
yeah.
He wanted to take a photo with his phone, and that was really nice. And I got the photo up on my Instagram and all that. So that's really cool.
Do you remember when we opened up the case, your guitar case? And I'm gonna just back up a little step too. Mm-hmm. We brought his Wolfgang Standard, the purple one, down, and I brought the 5150. George hasn't played that one yet, even though I brought over some nice guitars to him and stuff like that. He hasn't played the 5150 striped, and I brought that one down too. It was in the trunk of the car. I had a bunch of the I had a bunch of these. I brought down some of these for George, and actually I was going to give him. I really regret it. Can you see them all there? There's a bunch of Fender logos I had made. I brought half a dozen down for George, and I brought down a half a dozen for Eddie, because I thought both George and Eddie would get a kick out of it to have them for, for some, kickers on the guitars. And we left the 5150 back in the car, because at this point now, the looked like the meet and greet and the hangout was not going to happen. So we left. I figured, you know what, we're not going to carry both guitars, get downtown, and if this isn't happening, 2 guitars is pretty heavy to carry, along with a backpack and a tripod and all that kind of stuff. So I left the 5150 back in the car, left the stickers back in the car. So I never did get to give those to George, and and hence on to Eddie as well too. So we left that there. But when we opened up the case, George goes, "Whoa! You remember the color?"
Yeah, he really liked the transparent purple.
Now, did he pick up the guitar first and start playing, or did you? I think he did, didn't he?
He started playing. Well, actually, he told me to play, and I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, he's on the spot.
I'm like, is Mr. Lopez actually saying, "Hey, play your guitar"? I'm like, and then Dad's like, "Oh yeah, he's really into gorillas," so I'm just starting to play, right? And I'm still like shaking, so I'm like,
playing it like a bass.
Yeah. But when I was doing the guitar part, I was messing up so bad because I'm like, I'm not even that far away from George.
You were literally practically sitting on his lap. But the thing is, you held it together. You as nervous as you were inside, and I was too. When I played, later on, I got to play as well, and I was doing some Hot for Teacher and some Eruption stuff like that. And oh boy, was I on the spot. Thank God it wasn't Eddie, because it would have been even worse. But you did it. You pulled it off. It was credible. And the thing, I was like, as a proud dad, I'm sitting over there in this real nice little tall, not a recliner, but a tall back chair. I'm just sitting there watching Eric and George have this conversation. And it was like watching 2 adults. And at the same time, almost watching 2 kids. They were having as much fun as 2 kids, and they were having a conversation as fluent as 2 adults, talking about art, this is something I think George really appreciated by you. Tell him about the, when you said, well, one of my favorite movies is, to explain that.
Yes. So, back when I was in like grade 1, 7 years old, I saw the movie Escape from Planet Earth, and he played Thurman, which is one of the aliens in that movie, and that was actually one of my favorite movies ever, right? And he played Thurman, and we were in the room, and I said, Mr. Lopez, one of the things I mostly know you for is playing Thurman, the alien from Escape from Planet Earth.
He kind of lit up, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's like, oh, yeah. And I think he said he's playing as a new character in this one new movie, No Malone.
Yeah, and you mentioned that.
Yeah.
When we said that, because I said, are you doing any more voice acting? Because we love that a lot. One thing I like about these kids' animated movies is that, it's made for kids, but they want to keep the parents there, so they make them fun and exciting and adult jokes and all that kind of stuff.
What we were doing was just joking around, like, yeah, they don't want to bore the adults in the movie, so they have to throw in a few adult jokes. So. But
George was really impressed that he knew about this new feature coming out, so that was pretty cool. They got talking about art, talking about Van Halen. Eric, of all people, you couldn't see it at the time because he was wearing a Van Halen hoodie, but underneath was proudly supporting Greg Renoff's Van Halen Rising book. We got talking about Van Halen Rising, and I know George wanted to read it. I don't think he's read it yet, so we were telling him some of the cool stories about that. And then that led into some discussions, some really nice, cool stories he was sharing about Eddie. And I don't have George's permission to share the stories that he was saying about Eddie, but they were very cool, very kind of, I guess we were privileged in the moment, I guess.
One thing I wanted to share, because I'm holding it right now.
Yes, let's have a look at this. This is
so
cool.
Before we left, I had to do something that I was planning on. The reason why I brought my guitar, anyways, not just for him to check out, and I'm glad that he actually played it, because while Dad was talking, he actually played it. So
yeah,
that's
that was
one thing
cool
to remember. Is that, let's see if I can.
You want to pass it to me carefully?
Yeah. So just before we left, I asked him if I can get his autograph, and I got his autograph on the back of my guitar. So it says Eric Jr. I don't remember how to pronounce the last part, but I'm pretty sure Chingon, yep. And it means the El Mas Chingon. It means the most amazing. Oh.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good.
so that was very, very cool. We're going to try to put a little bit of a clear coat or something over that to protect it. But we bought some silver Sharpies just for the occasion, and George had some real nice gold ones, and I think it actually looks nicer with the cream binding.
It looks better.
Yeah, because there's cream binding on this, and I think the gold kind of accents the cream. And then grab behind you. I'll grab the strap here as well too.
Yeah, we got him to sign it in gold. That in gold as well.
Sign one of my EVH straps as well too, so you can see. Maybe if I put it this way, maybe actually probably better this way. Is that right?
Yeah.
There you go. And this was the cool moment. He says, here. He passes me over some foolscap paper like you'd have in school, and he gives me a big fat Sharpie marker, black marker, and says, here, write your address on here. I'm going to send you some stuff from myself and Eddie. And I was like, okay. And I, as a kid growing up, I had the world's best penmanship. My mom used to always say I could write like a typewriter, like a font. It was that clean. And as getting older and as my patience grew less and less for life itself, my penmanship has become very messy. So I'm trying to print, because if I make a mistake on my address, I'm not getting this package from George and Eddie Van Halen. So I was like writing it so close, and I'm putting my postal code here in Canada. We have postal codes as opposed to zip codes. And I wrote it the first time. I'm like, does this look like, is he going to be able to read this? So I scratched it out and rewrote the postal code. So it was nice and clear and legible. So, and then I gave it back to him, and he put that into like a special folder or whatever. So we have no idea what's coming. And I don't expect anything, but that was very, very nice of him. So he's checking out your guitar. He signed your guitar. He's talking to you about everything under the sun. We had some great Van Halen discussion. I think he was happy too that we were able to make it happen. And then what was really cool, we're probably going to go in and out of context and out of order here a little bit. But as we're coming home, so we didn't even really have a chance to absorb all this information yet, and it just happened. We're coming home, and Eric goes to George's Instagram, and I have an iPad here. I might even be able to bring it up. And Eric showed me this. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I'm going to try to do this real quick. I'm going to go to George's Instagram.
Actually, can I just mention a story about one of the places we went to on our way home just to get a snack?
Oh, goodness. Yeah. Okay, this is the perfect thing. It's perfect setup while I find this.
We were so ashamed of this. We went, because when we were going home, we had to stop by and just get a small snack from McDonald's. Me and my dad were so ashamed of the mess that it was. There's like ketchup near where all the water would spill. It was just a giant like sludgy puddle of ketchup, and it was all gross because there was like wrappers and everything everywhere. It was all
It was horrible. We have a video. We'll maybe post it later on. Okay, I'm gonna try to show you this real quickly, and if anything pops up political, it is what it is. But
can I help you find it?
Yeah, I actually just had it. So if I go back here again, right? Go to people, go to George, right?
Click on
the story.
his.
Okay, so I'll do this real quick. I'll show you. So this is on his story. 1 second. So there's one. There's Eric showing his.
Can you get a close up of it?
So there you go. That's on George's story showing.
Yeah, that's the one I drew for him.
And unfortunately now 6.5 million people know my phone number, but very cool. So there's his drawing, which is very cool. And not only with that one, we went crazy. There he is right there again.
With just me and George, and there's another one, I believe.
That's as crazy. And I think, is there one more after that? And then he posted it on Facebook as well too. His Facebook has 9.8 million people, and I think that might be it, isn't it?
Yeah, it.
That's it. So he's got 9.8 million people, and it said something along the lines of, father and son bonding over the mutual love of Eddie Van Halen.
And music.
So it was just absolutely, it was crazy. And the cool thing for me is, like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy this. I enjoyed it greatly. But I was living through the boy. It's like, you know what? As a dad, be able to give, your kid something that was very, very cool. Remember, you made me cry on the way home. I'm not afraid to admit it.
I was just telling him nice words. I was telling him, like, you're the special kind of dad, and like, you'll make me do what I love most before I have to do something boring like homework. So he'll make me.
I make him do homework too. Trust me.
Yeah, he'll make me do homework, but he'll let me do something I love, like play guitar, just before I have to do homework.
And that made me cry, and it was nice. I actually couldn't see for a couple minutes, so I'm trying to wipe tears in my eyes while I'm driving. What was the, we always talk about on the show, a takeaway from the show. So like, we have a guest on the show and they talk about, like Rudy Sarzo was about animal rights and dog rescues and stuff like that. It was very, very cool. Kind of do something if you're able to do it. What was the takeaway from yesterday's meeting with Mr. Lopez that you enjoyed the most?
What was the thing I enjoyed the most?
Well, no, what was the takeaway from the entire day?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, I remember we talked about, because a lot of times you were ready to give up. It wasn't going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And what did I say to you? Probably about...
Like a lesson learned?
Yeah. And I said probably about 10 or 15, maybe 20 times. What did I say to you yesterday?
Have faith. And just chill. Because, well, like Dad was saying, because I was kind of nervous. I was getting kind of upset because I didn't think we were going to meet George. And Dad's like, just calm down. He might come. Just chill. And I'm like, okay, I'll chill. And then he's like, okay. And I just kept on saying, I don't think this is gonna happen, man.
Time was on our side.
And then he says, okay, well, have faith. This might actually go out well. Hope for the best and
plan for the worst.
Plan for the worst.
And it worked.
And
trust me, I'm very thankful, because as a dad, I would have to come home like, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. And one thing I never do is I never make promises to people that I can't back up. So, like, I did not promise him he was going to meet George Lopez, even though it was planned. Everything was going to, but I don't have control over that. So I was not going to promise. It was planned, but I'm not the guy that controls the outcome or the verdict of that. So I wasn't going to be breaking a promise, but I certainly would have felt very, very bad. And to me, coming home, and then George sent me several nice messages overnight, and then even today he sent me a message saying you guys should do a video on the meetup. And I said, already ahead of you, buddy. Trust me, the boy and I are going to go live today, and I'll be sharing this with George after the fact. But George did a real nice shout out, a nice little, he did a little air guitar thing.
Yeah.
You know, so I played air guitar left-handed. Mom will like that. I played air guitar left-handed here. You know, like that. So it should be this way. But anyways, he says, this is George Lopez, aspiring rocker, something like that. It's on the channel.
Watching EVH Gear TV with Eric Robin. Yeah.
And remember the cool thing, as we're walking out, we're shaking his hands and everything like that. And just after I said, I asked him about the golfing comment.
Oh, yes.
He says, he goes, and by the way, you try to describe in your words, and when he says, by the way to me, what did he say?
I'm coming on your show.
He goes, I'm coming on your talk show thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, wicked. And I was like,
thank you.
Thank you, George. And so I said, we'll make it fun for you for sure. So I guarantee you when that happens, it'll probably be happening soon.
Just because it just happened.
Yeah. We're going to make it fun. We're going to talk a lot about comedy. We're going to talk a lot about Eddie Van Halen for sure, the mutual bond they have, learning from Eddie Van Halen as a guitar teacher, and all kinds of fun stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun, and he'll make you laugh. Trust me, he was making us laugh. I'll share one funny story. I told Mom about this today. And here again, we're rambling because we're all over the place emotionally right now. But he said one of the first times he met Janie, Eddie's wife, Janie, I think this is backstage at maybe on George's talk show or something of the nature. And he calls her Jane. And Jane showed up with this guitar case, just like we had, the molded 5150 or the molded EVH Gear guitar case. And he says she had this girl's there has a case in her hand, just like that. And she says, "Here, Mr. Lopez, this is for you. It's from Eddie Van Halen." And George, I guess he does this a lot. He says, do you know him? Or first of all, he goes, I'm Eddie's wife. And he goes, oh, do you know him? And she goes, yeah, he's my husband, whatever. And then, have you seen him? Yeah, he just gave me the guitar. So it's just kind of a funny ongoing thing. I'm not one to retell jokes. And then apparently he met some other famous person a little bit later on. And this was a mom of this drummer or something. I'm trying to remember. I wish I could remember 100%. But he says to the lady, he says, so your son's a drummer, or you know this drummer? Yeah, it's my son. Have you seen him? And so we were just laughing. Remember, we were almost crying, laughing these jokes. Yeah, it was
very funny.
So then having Eddie over at the house and teaching him guitar lessons, and he was showing us on his phone. He was taking his phone. He was showing us all these pictures of Eddie's hands on the guitar, saying, "This is how he plays this."
It's supposed to be a video, but apparently I don't know why it was just like.
He couldn't get it to load. There was bad Wi-Fi or something at the moment. But man, it was incredible. But let's jump back because we've missed a million comments.
Yeah,
let's go back. And we're really happy to share this excitement with you.
Oh, we forgot that question from so long ago. Can we answer that?
Let's do it right now.
All right.
So Draw with Beacher says, "What is Junior's favorite Van Halen song?"
All right. So, let's hit them. All right. So, my favorite Van Halen song. This is gonna be kind of hard. Because before, a while back, I used to tell Dad turn on the remastered 1984.
Speak up just a tiny bit too, if you can.
But the thing is, though, is like, because I'm speaking quieter because I'm just close up to the microphone. So and I speak up a lot when I'm supposed to be speaking. I always go close to the microphone.
It's all good.
But so what happened was my favorite
Van
Halen song would probably be this is kind of hard. I have so many.
You know mine, but hopefully you don't have to go with mine. It can be all yours.
It's definitely an old one or it's a new one. So far, I'm gonna have to say like maybe Tattoo. So,
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Really? You like that one?
Yeah.
I don't even think we've discussed that before. No. That's cool.
Yeah,
so from the Different Kind of Truth album, that's nice. And see, that was their first single off the record too, and a lot of people were kind of like, yeah, is this our experience or is this our intro to the new Van Halen with Roth? And I like the song. I don't think it's their best one, but that's cool. You like it. Mine is Unchained, and we were talking actually about playing that one last night. We were talking about Eddie playing it with the little Instagram video where Eddie was playing off camera and George is air guitaring, which was very, very cool.
Yeah.
So Sam says audio sounds better now. We're good on that as well too. Where have all the good times gone? A very good song. Very, very good. Yasnator says the George Lopez show is funny. Poison Ivy and I were just talking about this earlier. Her and I watched that show separately, of course, and then together, of course. Was one of the funniest shows on TV. He is such a funny man. Surfcat Matt says it's a big EVH family, room for all.
Actually, is it okay if I can just go off just to go put this down because it's kind of hurting my leg?
You go right ahead. Can you get out okay there, all right? Yeah. Just go put it on the couch and come on back in. Can you make it? I know you're a little cramped. We're going to be knocking out a wall here sometime in the near future because we are outgrowing the studio very quickly.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, he'll be right back. The Law says, my question is, did you guys find any cool spots to eat out at? I heard there are awesome restaurants around. Oh, there's amazing restaurants.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we didn't because we were trying to stay in a central area. We ended sadly, we ate before getting to the downtown area. And then after the way out, which was the McDonald's massacre that he was talking about. Absolutely. I was ashamed of this restaurant. I almost could not even stomach my food, but I really needed the coffee, and I was hungry. And for some strange reason, I've been obsessed with McDonald's breakfast lately. So I was eating here again at 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, I think it was. I was eating breakfast, not burritos. Robert Baker and Kevin Landorf. I know you guys are gonna tease me about that. It wasn't a breakfast burrito, but it was a egg McMuffin, sausage and egg McMuffin.
McDonald's massacre.
But yeah, massacre was right. It was just ludicrous. But there's some great restaurants. When I used to work for the radio station, I used to work for a radio station that's all across Canada. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. All across Ontario, Canada. We had about 15 stations, and I would work at the Windsor office occasionally, and all my colleagues and I would go down either for Greek food or Italian food or things like that. There's some great restaurants. Obviously, being a border city, as you would know, Jamie, some great food. Let me see here. Donnie Levitt says, "Hey, Eric and Junior, love you guys. Enjoying you at home today on my day off." Awesome, thank you. And I'm glad to be able to share this with you as well. I'm glad that you find it interesting enough to warrant watching. Fret's laughing at a Junior comment. Let me see here. Surfcat says George's act might have been a bit salt content. I think that's what he's saying, if I can read that correctly. Plus, there might be some boozing going on. I never know. He made some references to that as well. He was very funny about it.
What was the comment I made from the LOL Eric Jr. comment? I don't remember.
I'm not sure. That was probably about 15 minutes ago too. But obviously, you're always funny. You're always funny anyway. So I'm sure it was good. Thank you. Knock on wood, right? Jessica Grady says, "Love the look of that guitar, Junior. Wow, Eric, you took some great photos." Thank you. And he took a couple as well too. The ones obviously of me are from him.
The one where he's like a superhero and he's just sitting against the little viewing binocular thingy machine.
I was disappointed in myself because I'm an aspiring photographer. I'm to the point now where I'm actually doing it for a living. I'm not great by any means. I'm far from great, but I'm doing it for a living, which means I'm confident enough in my skills so that I will take people's money and give them a good product. I was not happy with my photos. I was happy with some of them downtown. And my favorite one is where Junior's got the sun behind him. It was the golden hour for photography. It was absolutely beautiful. The one where he's holding the big telescope thing. I was happy with that because I had the golden hour sunshine right on his face. He looked really, really good. But the ones taken inside George's hotel room, I was so disappointed in myself. However, you can't change it, right? I can't say,
You
George,
can never change photos.
no, I'm going to come back. Can you come back to Windsor and I'll come back and shoot some more photos? It is what it is. And you can't beat yourself up over it. It's just, and I was caught in the moment, and if I had a chance to do it again, would I do better again? Maybe, hopefully. But we still have the lasting memory, and so I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. So very, very good. Let's continue down with the
Dad
comments.
told me he stayed up until like I don't even remember how early it was. Yeah.
I was up till about 2 a.m. just because I could not sleep. I was getting messages back and forth from George. George and I shared some really nice comments. I told George last night that he has a special part in my family's heart because I didn't even talk about myself. I talked about what he did for Junior, and I said, what you did for my son, I can never ever pay you back for what you did. So I'm kind of getting emotional just thinking about it, but it was great. And then the notifications were just stupid. I mean, my phone died, the battery, so I went to iPad.
I remember, Dad. I remember when I woke up this morning, my dad's like, "I cannot leave this chair without getting a notification." Like, he's like, on his Facebook, right? He has like the little map thing, and that's like from all the local thing worldwide. You get a notification, and he closes it, right? And he just takes
20 more pop up.
He waits 1 second, and there's like 20 more that pop up in literally maybe a millisecond.
Yeah, I know, it was stupid, and I'm trying to get back to all the messages. You guys have been great, and here's a comment I want to say right now, and I'm going to give you some guys and girls in the chat some love, and I want to, before I even give you guys some love, I want to give Poison Ivy Gross here huge love, because number one, I could be this guy. I could be the egotistical guy and say, this show has happened because of the hard work I've put into it, and it's all about what I've done.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do, and it actually is kind of dumb because they're like, oh, I earned this.
Yeah,
I did this all. You
No.
guys didn't help at all.
Here's
But
where it came
really,
from.
Literally where it came from, because because I help as well.
You do. Huge. You're a production assistant. You're a catalyst. You're a supporter.
We're almost at 4K.
Getting very good. Just like less than 100 away, which is nice.
So, the thing is we're almost at 4K, and we're not going to say, oh, we did this on our own. We're better than you.
Here's where we're going.
What we really are going at is you guys. You guys helped us out, and we wouldn't be doing this without you guys. So.
Yeah. Here, and that's totally right. And just to put a kind of an addendum onto that, Sandra Lee Poison Ivy, I mean, before I retired in music, she was a huge supporter of what I wanted to do. She was never the type person saying, even when we couldn't even afford it, oh, get that guitar. That's a nice looking guitar, but babe, we can't afford it. Get the guitar. We'll find a way. And that's changed to, now she would like me to go do the show 7 days a week if I could do it, but I don't have enough to say in 7 times a week, so I don't do that. But so first and foremost, this channel happened and is happening and continuing to grow because of Sandra Lee. And every person watching right now, either that are watching in the chat and have commented, or there are people that sometimes are a little shy to comment. They're watching.
They're watching and you're supporting.
There's people on Facebook. There's people on Instagram. There's people on Twitter that will interact in some way. So this thing yesterday with George Lopez, I'm not going to take all the credit for having this happen just because I talked to George on Instagram and other different type of platforms. It happened because you guys and girls are growing the channel, and I almost look at you guys as, and when I say guys, please understand me saying I'm not trying to assume genders. We always,
Yeah, we joke about that a lot.
Did you assume my gender?
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying guys as in I'm a blanket. Okay, and if that offends anyone, please, I don't mean to offend. But when I say you folks, how about we say that? That's a little, we'll tame it down a little bit. I say you folks make this channel grow. It's providing a lifeblood and a pulse. There you go. It's a pulse. You people give this channel a pulse, and because of that, people see it. We're getting some good guests on the show, and that's happened. So yesterday meeting George, him having a lifetime experience of his lifetime.
Amazing.
He will not forget it. You guys, so let's get a little round of applause for everyone that's watching right now and has supported EVH Gear TV since its onset, which is not that old. It's an infant, still growing. But
been like since January 2016.
That's right. He would not have had the experience of his life yesterday had it not been for you. I was the driver of the Camaro yesterday. That's all I did. And
If it actually, believe it or not, if we didn't even start this YouTube channel, we wouldn't have experienced what we had yesterday. So.
no, and it's before that even happened. It's been such a whirlwind. Here's something that just was a crazy week for us. So we had a very, very nice interview with Rudy Sarzo in countless bands. He's been in from Quiet Riot to Whitesnake to, everybody, Ozzy, now playing with the Guess Who. After the show, because Rudy had a tight schedule. Normally my show runs an hour and a half. He only had an hour available. After the show was over, I always like to say goodbye to the guests off the air. Rudy wanted to take the moment. He goes, "Did I hear you say that your son's playing bass?" Yep. So he had Eric grab his bass, his flea bass, and show him. And Rudy Sarzo, of all people, gave Eric bass and music advice. Remember that?
That was amazing.
So we were on cloud 9. Then the George Lopez thing happens, which was crazy. And just prior, actually, did I say Wednesday? Friday was Rudy. Wednesday was Derek Sherinian from former Dream Theater and Sons of Apollo. It was an audio-only interview. So we're riding on a real nice, what the heck is going on with us right now? Loving it. And then today, I have all these things happening with George Lopez, and then I get a message from Billy Sheehan saying, because I've been in talks with Billy for a bit to get him on the show. Love Billy Sheehan. Tomorrow work okay for you? I'm like, okay. All right. So that's the quickest I've ever had to plan for a show, but I'm getting to the point now where, I have to expect this is going to happen from time to time. It's, I have to be prepared when these guests are ready. So I'm not sure what's happening tomorrow. This could be a very, very early one. He's getting ready he's going over to Europe if he's not already in Europe. So we have to do an early one. So this will either be live first thing in the morning. It'll be a pre-recorded one. I don't know yet. So I just said, Billy, whatever is on your schedule, I'll make that happen. And I didn't even get a chance to absorb all this George Lopez stuff. And we got that. But I guess one thing on both behalf of Eric and I've said this on many platforms as well already. I want to thank George Lopez. I want to thank his tour manager, Doug. I think was it Bruce, the other fellow, the guitar player guy that was
I'm not sure.
I think it was Bruce. He was Bruce was the one who took. I think it's Bruce. I'm going to call him Bruce. He was the one who took the picture at the very end with the three of us. The security staff.
Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you. The security staff. I don't even know how many positions of people that we encountered last night to make all this happen. But thank you all for the hospitality, the kindness, the respect. Like. They were super nice to us, weren't they?
Yes.
We're just these two guys from somewhere, Ontario, Canada, and we were treated like gentlemen. So that was nice. Let's continue down with the messages as well too.
Around when we finish the messages, we're getting close to the ending point. I believe, in my opinion, I think
we're gonna wrap up
everything that we were supposed to address.
Yep.
Thank you, George, about that. And thank you for yesterday. Thank you all as well. So let's get down to the comments.
All right, let's do that. That's the most important, isn't it?
And the whole topic of this video as well.
Exactly. So Justin talked about the guitar. He liked the guitar. And Surfcat Matt says, I wish I could rock Junior's haircut. And yeah, he's got to get that cut every few days. We're going to have to get some clippers so we can actually do the shaving on the side. And I think he's going to keep that for a while because it looks good on him. I like it a lot too.
Thank you, Jeff Wooten, for that.
Yeah, that's Jeff Wooten from the Gorillas, who I'm hoping to have on the show. I'm trying to reach out to him. I'd like to have him because I'm a huge fan now because of the boy. He's a great guitar player. So Surfcat Matt says, I grew up in punk rock, so of course the haircut. Jack Shea Martin says, I hope your day is good. Mine isn't. My phone got run over by a car. That's not a good way to start the day.
Oh.
No, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that sucks. Sorry.
However,
about that.
It's better your phone than you, so.
Better safe than sorry.
But I think replacing an iPhone or some of these Android phones too can be as expensive as the average hospital bill too. Yeah. So yeah, it's not good either way. And I'm certainly not trying to laugh at your pain because I know if my phone got run over, I'd be pretty upset about it too.
Well, we're very sorry about that. Hopefully, it wasn't like the new iPhones because that would so.
I can't believe the price of these things.
They're like $1,000 now. They went from being like almost the prices of a Squire to now being. Yeah,
to like a PRS or a boutique guitar.
It's now like one of those new Ernie Ball ones.
Exactly. So I'm actually okay. The losses. I'm a junior too, and Poison Ivy saying she's sorry to hear about the phone. Let me see. Drawd Picture says I'm a fifth or a junior. Drawd Picture says so glad he got to see him. Me too. Olympus Rock Video says very cool, guys. Justin Girardi says won't it be cool if Eddie was there with him? That was very cool too. Yeah. Eric had texted Janie Van Halen on the way down too, saying, "Hey, tell Eddie that." I gave him my phone. I said, "Tell Eddie that we're going to be meeting with George Lopez today and stuff like that." And that would have been really cool. Yeah, out comes Eddie from another corner. But
oh, why don't you tell him yourself? He's there with
yeah, we're looking forward to someday. I've met Eddie a few times, and even George asked me last night. Remember, he met Eddie a few times. I said, yeah.
Someday that'd be really cool. I'd love to meet Eddie. It'd be really nice. Pretty soon I'd like to get some for my wall. He's got a whole rock wall.
Oh, you're starting to get some stuff too, though.
Yeah, I got one from one of my friends, Deadly Vu, who is a supporter of the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
I talked with them a while back. She's a cosplayer.
Yep.
And she was signing photos and all that, and we're giving her a ton of respect, and now she's giving a lot of respect back and all that. So that's gonna be pretty cool.
And pretty much anybody that comes on the show now too, I get it's as an honor to us here in the studio. I like to feature a picture of them too. So I get almost every guest, I get a nice signed 8x10 to myself and to him, and he has a very, very cool guitar pick collection too. So
yes.
I always get the guitar players, if they're guitar players. Now I'm starting to have bass players and drummers and all this kind of stuff come on the show. I ask for guitar picks just for him, and so that's very, very cool. So we feature that on the wall as well too. So, but I have a feeling the day will come where you will get to meet Mr. Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah, I believe that
it's
too.
It's on the agenda. It's on the agenda,
So,
and I'm going to work as hard for that to happen for you. I've had the privilege. I know what it's like, and it was pleasurable each time I met him. But I want that to happen for you. And
someday, I'm sorry if I interrupt you.
No, you're not. You go right ahead.
Sometime, which would be cool, is if Van Halen does something next year.
A tour.
A tour.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, because since Eddie knows who Dad is, and he knows people who are correlated with Eddie and who are friends.
Nice words, by the way. That's big words.
Yeah.
Nice.
So at any point, I could probably meet Eddie sometime. So
I'm gonna work as hard to make that happen for you as I worked as hard to meet Mr. Lopez yesterday.
Yes.
And I think George thought you were a very cool kid yesterday. No, not a kid. You thought you were a very smart, intellectual young man.
Young man, yeah.
Yes, and you really composed yourself well. I learned from him yesterday. Drod Beecher says nice. A lot of people agreeing on that too. Hero Zero says George seems cool. I owe him a lot.
Yes.
I owe him a lot. He made my son's night and life. This is something he's going to take to his children, and is going to keep this memory for the rest of his life. So I'm thrilled. Cutter Savage says, "What's up, everyone? I know you're probably jumping in late there, Cutter. Also, I'm late myself getting to all these comments." Poison Ivy says hi. Sean Zimmerman says, "Awesome, Eric and Eric Jr. Hello to everyone. Hope all is well." And Sean, same to you as well too. Last I heard from you, you were not feeling the best. Had some health issues, so I certainly hope those are somewhat manageable for you. Poison Ivy echoing that statement as well too. And thank you, Blimpus. Says, "What a cool dad you are, Eric."
He's very cool.
Don't make me start crying again. All right, I'm a very emotional person. I can, but thank you.
You're cool.
I appreciate that. I have a great kid. So, and the greatest gift I was ever given by his mom is this cool dude right here.
Don't get too into that.
I'm good. All right.
Next question.
Yeah, let's carry on. Let's carry on before I start getting upset again. In a good way. In a very, very good way. Sir Cat Matt says, "Hey Sean, hope you're feeling all right." Yes, exactly. We share that as well too. Randall Fisher says, "I agree, Blimpus. Thank you." I scratched it. Oh, I think that's the phone. I think maybe. And Surf Cat Matt says, "Junior, your dad is cool." Thank you. I won't read any more of these cool comments because. And I'm not gonna let it go to my head. I have a hard time.
Don't make him well up in tears. We don't want to do that on EVH Gear TV.
But I care about people. I care about my son. And I care about all you guys. Sean Jimerson says
he's very cool.
Thank you, buddy. Hey Poison, I'm actually back in the hospital. I have fluid. He has some. Okay. No. Oh no. So he's got some serious problems with the lungs. Let's all take a. I'm not sure if everyone's religious or not, but even if you're not religious, some positive prayers and vibes for Sean.
I'm very sorry to hear that, man.
Sean has been battling, so let's wish our sincerest thoughts to Sean for some recovery and some tolerance through what he's going through. And a lot of people echoing that statement as well too. So prayers and positive vibes to you, Sean. That's from Surf Cat, and I think he says it for all of us for sure. As Poison Ivy says, so very sorry, Sean.
Same with
you got a lot of support there, Sean. You're gonna pull through this for sure. Yasner says she's a keeper. That's obviously referring to Poison Ivy. My wife looks at my collection of guitars as the enemy. I saw some funny posts on Facebook where somebody says they go to like a Guitar Center or whatever, and they'll buy a Squire, and with the wife, of course, you know, they'll spend $200 on a Squire, let's say like a Sunburst Squire Strat, and they bring it home, and then the wife goes to work or something like that. The guy goes back to Guitar Center and exchanges it for a USA Fender, same color. The wife doesn't know the difference. Right? So you go from a $200 guitar to a $2,000 guitar. The wife doesn't know. It's, hey, but you know what? We don't. That's cool. It's whatever. There's everything different with every family. And first and foremost, none of us should be putting families.
Yes, I. Sorry if I interrupt you.
No,
again.
you go ahead. Please go ahead.
I remember I mentioned this to you yesterday because of the new thing with George Lopez when he's air guitaring for the thing.
Yeah.
I asked you, that's all cool, but does it gent?
That was funny. That was really funny. Yes, does it gent?
Because the whole meme's going on. Does it gent? I remember I mentioned that with the inflatable guitar. Cringy, very cringy. But when George was doing the air guitar, in my head, I'm thinking, that's cool and all. That's very cool, but does it gent?
But does it gent? That was cool. And it was cool, too. George had to, obviously, George is great for memorizing lines, and he just improvised something out of the clear blue and did something for the channel. And so I'm really honored. I do promise you this: when he comes on the show, we're going to make it fun, lighthearted, and you'll probably be laughing to the point of almost crying because he's a comedian. He's a great comedian. We'll have some great Eddie Van Halen stories for you for sure. He's very, very dear friends with Eddie. And who knows what will come of that. But we're just going to keep doing what we do here. Junior's he's got his feet invested in this show. He's a great production assistant to me. He's a supporter. He's a technical whiz. I think there's going to be a future for him involved in this show in greater capacity, and I could not be more happy to have him by my side, both behind the scenes of the show, on the show, every aspect. It's just I love every minute I can with this kid. We are inseparable. We're like Velcro or dual lock. I mean, this is us. This is us right here. We are stuck like that 24/7. He's the greatest kid in the world. And I learn a lot from him every day. So I think I'll finish my little speech, and I'll let you say goodbye to everybody. I just want to thank everybody. And Dan Wilhite's watching. He thought this was recording, but it's live. So thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. And I know you're a great dad as well, too. A lot of great dads and moms participate in this show. A huge props to this guy's mom upstairs who's watching right now, a big part of this show.
I actually think, because last time I saw her, she's downstairs, so.
Okay, cool.
She might be upstairs now.
Yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes. This is pretty sound.
Ago, so.
This is acoustically sound pretty good. It's hard to hear steps sometimes. But thank you so very, very much for letting us ramble for, I don't even know how long it's, I guess an hour, about an hour long here. We're very honored to share this story with you, and I'm sure you can tell by now the excitement we have and what he had yesterday. I'm going to turn it over to you, little man. You can actually close it out, and we're going to turn it over to you a few years. Actually, no, we're going to turn it over to you recently, giving the outro credits. But what would you like to say? What are you going to do? He's going to grab his guitar, I bet you. He's going to grab a guitar. Oh, there you go. He's grabbing the guitar that he was featured in the video a long time ago.
We're going to do this every time it's my birthday on the show. So.
All right. So, yeah. So, what's your... hey, man, what are you playing? And what's your name? What are you playing?
I don't even know.
You're like, my name is Eric. I'm playing the Wolfgang guitar.
Yeah, okay. I haven't done this in a while, so here we go.
All right, on the spot. 3, 2, 1.
My name is Eric, and I'm playing the Wolfgang guitar.
So you'll see him in the outro credits with the long hair as a young little lad.
You know what would be fool? Oh, you know, fool. Well, you know what would be cool is if I actually got like a Mario t-shirt and like these types of pants again. Mm-hmm. Because I had like a Mario shirt on, as I did in the video.
I know.
And if I had like a wig or something like that, I could
replay yourself.
I could replay myself in higher quality.
That's right.
4K.
And Chad Boston jumping in says, hi, Eric and Eric Jr., guitar player, friends, and fans. If you guys haven't checked out this website yet, friendlyguitarfreaks.com. Is that correct, Chad, if I got that right? You got to check out that page. Chad has been a huge catalyst in me learning the Line 6, which you see here as well, too, the Line 6 Helix, which is a huge part of my life right now for guitar. As a matter of fact, I'm doing a video very, very soon on this running my actual pedal board, real cool pedals, through the loop of this thing and to the front of this. So there's going to be a video coming on that very, very soon showing what it sounds like with real pedals. I'm looking forward to doing that. And Chad Boston has had a lot to do with my knowledge learning this stuff and also the inspiration and treating me like a real nice person on his forums and his Facebook pages and his website. So thank you, Chad. Cutter Savage says, rock on, everyone. Donnie Levette says, did you end up finding a loose screw inside the new mixer? Yes, I did. Found it, and it was just one that was, I think it could have been an extra one because I could not find anywhere where it was fastened or come unfastened. So we're all good on that. So if Cat Matt says, peace out all. Just before I leave, Jay Palmer, a good friend and fellow guitar player, just sent me a message on Facebook just before it went live. Him and I are going to be working on that track that I sent him. He's digging it. He's going to actually even mix it for me, which is great because my mixing skills are not the best. So watch for something coming from Jay and I. I'm really excited about that, and it's gonna be amazing. Have a great day, Poison. Chat very soon, everyone. Poison saying, do you want to say goodbye to everyone? Say whatever you want. Come over close to the microphone though, if you can, and we're gonna round it out and let you guys go.
All right. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you George Lopez and his crew members for making yesterday a good day and making it come true. I almost thought it was a dream at that point. I thought I was gonna wake up and say, "Oh, it was just a dream," but no, it was actually a dream come true. Thank you so much for making yesterday what's possible, and thank you so much everyone for tuning in. We're already an hour and 5 minutes in, which is great. Good timing.
Perfect.
So yeah, thank you for almost 4,000 subscribers on this channel. EVH Gear TV has come a long way.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
One day at a time. Have faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we learned yesterday. Have faith. Recognize the people that help you get where you are, and do not step on toes.
Chill.
Have fun.
And as I was saying, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
That's right. Craig Rendles. Later, guys. Cool news about Billy. You rock, Craig. Love you, man. Blimpus Rock Videos. Thank you, Eric and Eric Jr. Did a great show today. Thank you. We appreciate that. You guys make this thing. See you real soon. Go enjoy the rest of your Sunday afternoon. If you guys are fans of The Walking Dead, Season 8 premieres tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Happening now.
It's going to be happening right away. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to it.
Hopefully I'll be able to stay up to watch it.
If you get your homework done today, and you promise not to give me a hard time tomorrow, there's a possibility it might happen.
No, I'm going to watch it.
All right. Everyone, take care. We'll see you real soon. Have a fantastic Sunday. We will see you very, very soon. Stay tuned. Watch the Facebook page, facebook.com/EVH Gear TV for last-minute announcements about the Billy Sheehan Show. We'll see you very soon. Thank you. You rock. Please like and subscribe, share all that good stuff, and I will love you a long time. Cheers.
Hey, my name is Eric, and I'm playing the Frankenstrat guitar.
Video production services provided by Design 39 Media. Visit design39media.com for all your website, photography, and video production needs.